Hey guys, I'm here in front of 549 Crown, my most recent Crown Heights sale, and I'm here to tell the story. Every single transaction, bar none, has a story. This property was habitated and memories were created for the past 50 years. Their mom purchased it with her hard work, her sweat, and her tears. This was their mom's property when their mom immigrated to America, I don't know, about 50 years ago or so. And many memories were created, and the current sellers had fond memories, but felt it was a time to move on. So there was always a time, and this current seller raised her two boys in this home that she herself was raised in. So it was what's called a generational home, and I see that very common in the Crown Heights section of Brooklyn where I live and I work. I have been in touch with the current sellers for about 4 years, give or take, and that's pretty much the story of how every transaction begins in my world. It's usually a knock on the door, and then constant follow-up and follow-up and follow-up until the time was right. And once the time is right, boom, I brought a buyer immediately. It was, I think, one open house, if you will, and after that, the buyer came. It wasn't really an open house in the true sense. It was more of an open house for the buyers who were interested to actually see the property, and we procured an offer immediately, and I was able to connect this seller with a Jersey agent, and that's where they were seeking their next home. And that's what I do. I make sure that my sellers have where to go, and I ask them, where are you seeking? And then I connect them with an agent that I know, like, and trust. And then the rest is so seamless. They're able to sell, they're able to close with their next property in hand. And that's the story of how this brick townhome was sold in Crown Heights. So how, you may ask, what was the impetus? What was the turning point that got these sellers to actually decide after 3 or 4 years that you've been following up, Margula, what happened? So it's simple. Life happens. As Glenda Baker likes to say, there are many D's in the sale of a home. You've got death, diamonds, diapers, downsizing, and in this particular case, there was a death of their mom, who was the original owner of this home. And then that was it. The time was right for the rest of the family to move on. Very often I find that families feel that once the matriarch of the family has passed on, the house takes on a different meaning. It becomes bittersweet, and that's when they're ready to move on. And that's where I come in. I'm just the gap, the bridge, the matchmaker, if you will, of finding the right buyer at the right price, at a respectable price for the family. And I would love to serve you.